Welcome to Highs and Lows, a student project aimed at shedding light on the complex and often stigmatized topic of drug use. Through in-depth conversations with a wide range of individuals, we aim to open up the discussion around drug use, addiction, and humanize those who use drugs. After all, we are all users. I'm here with Mary Jane.
Hello.
And I am John Blue, and this is Highs and Lows. There are quite a few areas for drugs, one of them being legal, easily available, like alcohol and caffeine and nicotine. And there are the prescription ones that are a little bit more difficult to get. And then there are the illegal ones. Do you use nicotine and alcohol and caffeine a lot in your daily life?
I use all of them, to be honest. I didn't peg myself to be like the legal drug abuser. I always thought caffeine was really fucking stupid because it doesn't really do anything to you. You just drink coffee because your body is like, I need it to live. But now that I actually like coffee, I do feel like I'm like, okay, I need my coffee. I need my cigarette in the morning. And that's going to help me wake up. But to be honest, I used to be kind of like a heavy drinker when I was younger, but now I don't drink at all.
Wait, how old are you now?
I'm 20.
I was a heavy drinker when I was younger.
I like 16 to 18, I guess.
Wow, okay.
I mean, not like heavy, but I went to like the therapist, and my therapist told me that I was a heavy drinker. She made me fill out like a whole paper, and I was like, I'm not drinking that much, am I? And she was like, yeah, you are drinking a lot actually, more than the normal amount. It got kind of boring, to be honest.
Like you're getting drunk?
Yeah, you don't relate to that?
I don't drink much, so I guess I don't relate to that about alcohol. But there have been other drugs that I've used a bunch, and kind of now entered a period of my life where it's easier to stay sober than not to.
I'm guessing you also did drugs like before a lot, or did you feel like you've always been sober?
I was like the kid who was like, I'm walking by somebody smoking and I'm like, holding my breath.
No, but I was literally the same when
Yeah.
I was like 12, and until like pretty much like when I was 16 also I was like, I'm never gonna smoke in my life. And then I came to university and everyone was smoking all the time here.
It's
and
BFM. It's BFM.
Literally, it is BFM. I don't see any other culprit in this. Apparently, a person who lives in Tallinn is said to like secondhand smoke 50 cigarettes a year, at least. Imagine how much that is if you're in BFM. Like, if I'm already here, I'm gonna be secondhand smoking so much, I might as well be smoking.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for your lungs. You can't stay safe. Like, I really picked up cigarettes when I was like really, really depressed. Like 2 years ago, I think it was like the first major depressive episode I had, and the only thing that was there for me were cigarettes.
Wait, how were they there for you?
Like I was in my room. I didn't want to go out anywhere. I didn't really want to do anything, but I kind of convinced myself to go outside just for a cigarette. So it was like that sort of motivation. Like, okay, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna do a cigarette. I'm gonna be outside for a little bit.
Yeah, but you know, you could have like I don't know, gone out to like buy some snacks in the store, but instead
too far away.
You went outside to buy a pack of ciggies.
No, but you don't see. I live like outside the city. It's like half an hour to each store. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I could not be motivated.
I have a question then about what is your view on alcohol? Do you perceive it as a drug?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's the most dangerous drug in Estonia right now because people are so desensitized to it. That's why, like, people don't think of it as like, oh, this hard drug, but like that's what makes it dangerous. People are always casually drinking, like casual drinking, especially people go to parties like, I can't be without this here. I can't be without alcohol. Which I do relate to somewhat as well, because I do have like social anxiety, and it gets tiring without being on something a lot of the time. But still, since it's so available, and you know, I don't know how many like deaths are because of it, but
Shit ton, way too many,
Yeah.
way more than any illegal drug.
That's what I'm thinking too.
And same with nicotine, less than alcohol though. I'm pretty sure. But we can put up the stats over here. I don't know how you feel about it, but like you kind of said it already, that the most dangerous drugs are the ones that, you know, are easily available and are legal. Just because we kind of know the effects of them and so on. We know
Mm-hmm.
the negative effects too, but we kind of ignore them because they're legal.
It's true, but I feel like we ignore it, but also the society we live in wants us to not acknowledge them as much because we do make a lot of money off of that. Like the government makes a lot of money off of alcohol sales. I don't remember which country it was. Was it maybe Japan or Korea that like encouraged people to drink more? You need to fact check me on that. But they were literally like, young people are not drinking enough.
What?
Our country is going poor. We need to sell more alcohol. You're too healthy. And also, fun fact, in Estonia, most of the money off of gambling, nicotine, and like the tax on alcohol, it goes to artists. Like that's the money they use to fund all of the arts. Like,
What? How did you find that out?
We talked about it in class.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they said that basically everything substance related is what funds the arts in Estonia. So if you're drinking, you're kind of doing a service to artists. So.
Do you think that you're an addict?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I've been addicted to many things. I feel like it goes in cycles. First it was alcohol, then it was weed. Now it's nicotine and caffeine. This is like a low level addiction. This is like something casual you do every day.
Or that's kind of dangerous to say. You're kind of like leaning into that narrative of people, thinking that nicotine and caffeine. It's just like it's
No,
normal.
but what I mean by this, it doesn't have any like life-altering effects. Like I'm not gonna die
Okay.
I'm not gonna die tomorrow because
yeah.
of a cigarette.
So it's not immediate. So this slow burn death, it doesn't fear you because like it's so far in the future for you, right?
I don't really worry about that far. Like
Yeah,
future that far. I feel like
exactly.
we all need a little poison in our lives,
We
and
d-
it's gonna be there anyway. So fuck it, why not?
We don't fear what's gonna happen in a year as much. Well, we do to some extent, but way less than what we do now. So I guess it's scarier to like have a bad trip on whatever substance that is like, I don't know, psychedelic or whatever, rather than smoking a bunch of cigarettes.
No, bro, but have you done snus before though?
No.
Like snus gets you really fucked up. Like that's the worst way to consume nicotine ever. I threw up like 3 times the
Yeah,
first
I've
time I
heard
did it.
this before, but like, bring me through the experience.
I mean, you just feel so sick. Like your whole body feels horrible. You feel like a little baby bird who's about to be like swallowed by an eagle or something. And then you just feel horrible. But I guess a lot of people do like it because I guess it's better than smoking. Because you don't get all that shit in your lungs. You just
less
destroy your
carcinogens,
gums,
I guess. But still a bunch of nicotine. More nicotine, apparently. And now let's get into illegal drugs. What's your experience with them? Okay, I don't know what do you want to talk about first.
I mean, I can talk about it. I think it's fine, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't have any hope in like the industry anyway.
Okay. Well,
So-
if you change your mind, we can take it out.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I've done mainly psychedelics, like LSD and shrooms, for like a few years already. Not actively, but I've done them a few years ago and like some sort of way.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. And then I've done MDMA like a few times. But these were more recent experiences. Haven't done that for a while.
Yeah. Well, if my parents are watching this, I'm sorry. But yeah, I've had similar experiences to yours with psychedelics, just like acid and shrooms and MDMA as well. Those are the ones that are, I guess, the most common, and like ketamine. That was I told you a little bit about that experience, but which one would you want to go into? I think the most interesting one is the psychedelic experience because that's kind of the one that people preach so much these days.
There's a lot of people who are like, "Yo, you need to try psychedelics. You need to do them. But they're gonna change your life." Maybe if you're like really close by the person, they're gonna change your life. I feel like it's a different way to experience living, definitely, but it's not something that's like, this changed everything. Just like I can't look at life the same anymore. At least for me, it wasn't. Even though I did experience like being out of my body. Oh, I did experience like floating in the ether when I was on psychedelics, which was a really interesting one. Like
Ether, was that?
like outside of the human experience.
Okay.
Just like in some sort of void of being that you're not really in your body, you're not part of your body anymore. I've never had a bad trip on acid before. I'm very lucky for that. I had a best friend who, when we first tripped together, he went into one of my rooms in my house, and he turned the light on, and he said that the room got so weird and big and fucked up that he threw up like the rest of the night, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be like being on a ship if you have seasickness.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like you can get sensory overload very easily.
Yeah.
Everything is very intense all of the time. Like first time I did shrooms, it was a chill experience with my best friends, but the second time was a really fucked up story. I was in America for the summer, and I was on Tinder a lot because I wanted to meet new people. I thought it would be a fun way to meet new people. But what I didn't account for that most of those people that I met actually just wanted to have sex with me. So
you're on Tinder.
Yeah.
What are you expecting?
I was expecting something a little bit different,
Okay.
but clearly not what I found. But I went to meet up with this guy. This guy was like, "Okay, do you want to do shrooms?" And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll do it." But I thought I would just tell him no because I actually didn't want to do it. But I was still on the fence about it because, like, in Estonia, you don't really get free shrooms. I was like, fuck, I do want to trip for free. Yeah? And then I went to this guy's place, and he was okay, but he was a little bit weird. And this guy was like, "Okay, I'll make us milkshakes with the shrooms." And then he made the milkshake, but what he didn't show me was how much shrooms he put into it. And I watched, like, okay, I saw like him put like a handful in, and then he gave me like a big ass jar, like this big cup, and was like, "You need to drink all of it. You need to drink all of it." While I was drinking as well, I was like, "I don't want it anymore." And he was like, "No, you need to drink all of it." And I was like, "Damn, okay, this dude is like really freaking me out right about now." But I was still like, "Okay, fuck it." I mean, I don't have anywhere else to be. We'll see how it pans out.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I started tripping really heavily, obviously, very soon. And this guy was like super, super weird. He listened to Weezer.
Okay.
Yeah, and he showed me like his paintings, and he was like, "Yeah, I drew this when I broke up with my ex. She was a manipulative, toxic bitch, or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, you're clearly on the right on this one." And then he made me watch what's that romantic movie? A Star Is Born or whatever. And I fucking hate romantic movies, but I was too fucked up. I was tripping so heavy. I was sitting there like, I can't escape. I can't go away.
Yeah, and that's like the scariest thing about these psychedelic experiences. They last so fucking long. So long. 12 hours for an LSD or a shroom trip.
Shrooms don't last that long.
Okay,
I think.
the shrooms can be like, but depend. Like you took an insane amount, right?
I left that place inevitably because like he tried to kiss me and he was so bad. I was like, "Fuck, I need to leave right now," and I left. And I was wandering the streets of Santa Cruz, and I was like, "I don't know what to do anymore. Like, where should I go? What should I do?"
Just be outside.
Yeah, I went to the beach.
Perfect.
And yeah, but the calm down with shrooms is definitely less tiring than with acid. I feel like for me, because I was like, I came down pretty fast, and I was like, okay, I can like chill now. With acid, however, it's like I finished the trip, but I'm still tripping.
Yeah. It takes
like,
a while.
I can't escape from this situation.
I can see why a lot of people are so terrified of these experiences.
It's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really agree with the fact that...
You can't get the same trip.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't agree that when people are like, "Oh, we should use psychedelics more in medicine," I feel like it's so unpredictable and so understudied. Like, definitely legalizing it would help make studies more available. That's like the main thing. That's like the problem. But
or just greenlighting the studies. You don't even have to legalize it for it.
yeah, that's definitely true. Ketamine isn't legal, but they still do still use it as medicine in Estonia.
Horse tranquilizer.
Yes. But yeah, definitely it's not something for everyone. But I like, a lot of people I know are like, "No, I never want to do psychedelics. I know I'm not stable enough." And that's good. That's good that you know that. Because if you know that, you shouldn't do it.
Right. Yeah, and you're not going to be able to keep these people away from these kinds of drugs anyway. What was I gonna say?
I don't remember, bro.
That's the drugs talking. That's
That's
the
the
problem.
brain rot.
Brain rot. You get brain rot when you use drugs.
It's true. Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how a lot of people. I for one was one of these people who knows that I can't drink alcohol much, because like I'm gonna get off the rails,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm usually whatever I go about in life, I'm very intense about it, which can be a very bad combo when it comes to drugs, because you know that can lead to abusing drugs,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's good that people know their limits.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm one of the ones who has to discover it kind of the hard way.
Yeah, same for me. I also feel like mostly I've discovered my limits by actually testing them and failing at realizing what my limit is. But I guess that has helped me realize what I should do and what I shouldn't do. But I definitely feel like for me, a lot of the substances that I do are really good coping mechanisms, which is kind of like, it's sad in a way, because like good medicine or therapy is really hard to access in Estonia. It costs a lot, especially if you're like a university student who doesn't have any money at all. And they're trying to make it more available with like therapy funds and stuff like that. But still, a lot of young people instead just substance abuse instead of taking actual medicine to heal their problems.
Because it's you trip for so much longer a lot of the time, and you pay
You
way
pay
less, a
less,
fraction of
yeah.
the price.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad,
Mm-hmm.
but it's nice to see that that people are trying to invest in these types of things.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't sit with myself. I couldn't stand myself.
Mm-hmm.
I never let myself think to myself. I always distracted myself. And when I used psychedelics, I was forced to look into myself, which is, I think, why also so many bad trips happen, because people are afraid of themselves.
Mm-hmm. I actually feel like a lot of that is with weed as well. Like people don't really talk about abusing weed that much, because like stoners are like, oh, they're chill, but they're actually brain dead, and like a lot of them, and a lot of it is like also distracting yourself. You get high all the time. You're always in a zoned out sort of drowsy state, and you don't really know how to be any other way. Like most stoners I know are like really addicted. Actually, they need to smoke to get through the day, and I was like that for a while as well. I was like I need to smoke until I developed like really bad anxiety because of it. Like every time I smoked I got really fucking anxious, and I started seeing the Hat Man, for God's sake. Like it was really not good for me, and that
Wait, what's the Hat Man?
dude, like shadows in the corner of my room type beat, and like I was getting really paranoid, and then I realized like fuck, that's really not good for me at all. I don't enjoy this. It's not good for me, and it's narrowing my enjoyment of life. Like what life, like you said, life is the trip. Like everything around me is also already absurd enough. People are interesting. Life is interesting. I don't need to get high to realize that. It can be just like a little fun treat sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't do any drugs. Everything I've just said here is fabricated. These are stories about people in my life, not about me. And second of all, I think I think that the people need to be more open-minded about substances, and actually take into account substance abusing people as people, not as addicts, and look at them from what might be wrong in their lives that they need to do these sorts of drugs. And also take into account drugs that seem not so dangerous, like alcohol, but actually do destroy a lot of lives.
Woo! Anna's not even here. Okay, thanks.